No one outside of Madalina Cojocari's family has seen her since November 21st. 46 days later, police are now releasing a new flyer, hoping that it could lead to new clues about her disappearance.
This is a look at the release officers posted on social media within the last half hour, featuring images of a car and Madalina's mother. It asks for calls from anyone who saw this green Toyota Prius in Madison County, North Carolina between November 22nd and December 15th. Officers say a member of Madalina's family was in that county during that window.
Hey guys, welcome back to True Crime with Shannon, where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. So, while I've been covering the Idaho 4 for the last week or so, I wanted to get an update out on little Madalina Cojocari, because she's still missing and there's not a lot of answers, but there are some updates on her case that have been released in the last couple days. So let me actually show you first the new missing persons poster that came out from the local PD. Now, it is kind of hard to read, so I'm going to read it to you guys. You might have to zoom in on it. It's available on their Facebook page, Cornelius PD, and I'll also be resharing it again on my socials. So these are more updated photos of Madalina. The photos that we have seen are apparently a bit dated, so these top two are probably the most recent there, from what we understand, of little Madalina. So, and that's her mother at the bottom with the hat on. We are seeking first-hand eyewitness information from anyone who may have seen this Toyota Prius or white female in the area between the dates of November 22nd, 2022 to December 15th, 2022. Madalina was last seen wearing jeans, pink, purple, and white Adidas shoes, and white Adidas shoes. It's a typo, sorry about that. And a white t-shirt and jacket. I'm hoping they've updated the poster since this one here. If you have any information concerning the whereabouts of Madalina Cojocari, please contact the Cornelius Police Department at 704-892-7773. You may also contact your local FBI office, the nearest American embassy or consulate, or you can submit a tip online at tips.fbi.gov. So again, this is the latest here on her case. They've released this poster on the 4th, and this is basically them asking for information. And it's pretty important. They are seeking as much information as possible. But this one here is a big one. WBTV they've got a reporter that's fighting for access to unseal the Madalina Cojocari investigation documents. They have been sealing everything. For some reason, they're just not letting out a lot of information or details in this case, which is really making it difficult for anyone to assist. Let's go over what they've got to say here. In a new push to find out what exactly happened to Madalina Cojocari, WBTV's chief investigative reporter, Nick Oshner, exclusively petitioned on his own to unseal search warrants related to the case. And you can read the full motion for access there at that link here. And of course, I'll be including this link in the show video information rather. The search for the missing 11-year-old Cornelius girl is now in its 6th week. Investigators were seen recently at her home. Her parents were arrested and remain behind bars on a state charge of failing to report a missing child. but there is still nothing from investigators at the Mecklenburg County Courthouse as the request for details from the search warrant continues. A key document could spotlight what happened in the days before and after Madalina was last seen. Cornelius Police and agents with the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation executed 3 search warrants days before Christmas. When those warrants were returned back to the Mecklenburg County Courthouse last Friday, they were supposed to become public. Instead, a judge ruled they should stay secret. We should be concerned about that. These should be public information. Those warrants include one for the house where Madalina lived with her parents, Madalina Cojocari and Christopher Palmiter, one for the couple's cell phone records, and one for the contents of Palmiter's physical phone. But what exactly investigators were looking for and what did they find? Those questions remain unanswered. A judge sealed the warrants and the documents outlining what those warrants turned up. Ochsner was able to obtain the order that say those records should be secret. Why? That's a good question. According to the court order to seal the records, the presiding judge said that, quote, given the current level of media attention, release of the search warrants at this time into the public domain could interfere with the rights of Madalina Cojocari and Christopher Palmiter to a fair trial, unquote. What the heck? A fair trial to these two? As far as I'm concerned, she's put her daughter in unknown danger, and he's the stepfather, other guardian of Madalina, and he also won't answer for what is going on with this 11-year-old child. So this is crazy and it's outrageous. So I completely agree with this investigative reporter, and it's awesome that he is taking this on his own accord here. The order also said that, quote, release of the search warrant affidavit into the public domain at this stage may interfere with the ability of detectives to recover additional untainted information from witnesses and could hinder the efforts to locate Madalina Cojocari, unquote. How can anybody help find this girl if we don't know? We really don't know anything. There's so little information, and we just are now getting some in the last few days that I'm covering here. There's just not a lot of information. We're being told that she supposedly we saw a video of her getting off the school bus, and a day or two later she's just gone, and her parents didn't even report her missing for 22 days. This is not acceptable at all, and this should not be kept secret at all. The judge who sealed these search warrants will hold a hearing on this request to unseal these documents. That will happen on January 6, 2023 at 10 a.m. Ochsner will continue to provide updates on those search warrants and any developments into where exactly Madalina could be. Okay, so let me see what happened yesterday, because like I said, I have been so engrossed in Idaho. I'm trying to get caught up on little Madalina here.
We are starting tonight with the breaking news here at 6 o'clock. We are still waiting to see those unsealed search warrants in the case of missing 11-year-old Madalina Cojocari. On the left of your screen now is the decision to release those documents. It comes from a Mecklenburg County judge after our chief investigative reporter Nick Ochsner petitioned on his own to unseal them. Thanks for watching WBTV News. I'm Jamie Bowl.
And I'm Molly Grantham. In the 6 weeks, Madalina has been missing again, this sweet 11-year-old girl. We have seen investigators come and go from her home. Her parents arrested. We've seen billboards plastered over our community asking for information in her disappearance.
Now we go live to Nick. He's outside the Mecklenburg County Courthouse waiting to get his hands on those warrants he pushed to make public. Nick, the judge made her decision this morning. What's holding this up?
Yeah, Jamie, the judge announced her ruling at the end of a hearing earlier this morning. She's now actually released her written order. It has yet to be filed with the clerk. And most importantly, Jamie, I spent several hours here this afternoon waiting for the documents that are being unsealed, some of which are being redacted, to actually be delivered to the clerk's office. We don't have those just yet. But let's walk through some of what I've already learned from that order that the judge handed down today. We knew from other court documents that had been filed. We told you last night that police executed 3 search warrants in this case. I now know from this new order the judge has handed down that actually police and investigators have executed a total of 6 search warrants related to their investigation, all of that spanning from December 16th to December 21st. That's key new information we didn't know until this moment. But we're still waiting to learn more details. That's why I went to court to ask a judge to unseal these search warrants. Ultimately today, the judge ruled that because some of that information had already been made public. That's what I told her. I said, Judge, we have affidavits and court files that already have a lot of details. The district attorney's office ultimately conceded that there is a lot of overlap in that information, and so a big win for transparency today, the judge ruling that many documents should be unsealed completely and that redacted copies of other documents, including search warrant affidavits and what investigators found, should also be released. I'll be back here at the courthouse Monday, checking on those documents to be made public. For now, though, reporting live in Uptown at the Mecklenburg County Courthouse, Nick Oxner, WBTV, on your side.
Yeah, we all want to see the latest information in this. Nick, thanks for pushing.
So that's really good. That's really good information, and props to WBTV and Chief Investigative Reporter Nick Oshner for going to bat for this little girl in this case, because they're saying that her case has got so much media and public attention, but I'll be honest with you, a lot of people do not know Madalina's story. It's really in the area that she's in. It's known, in her area there, which of course is North Carolina, Charlotte area. They are familiar with it. Nearing areas like nearing states, and I'm here in Florida, and I could guarantee you, I could do a survey, and most folks have not heard of Madalina Cojocari or this case. So while it may be somewhat, public in the state of North Carolina and its surrounding areas, it's not nationally known whatsoever. It's not like the Idaho 4 or, many other cases like Delphi. It's nowhere near that kind of publicity, and it really should be. This little girl deserves as much, many eyes and as many folks on this case to, hopefully find her alive and okay, or if she's not, God forbid, to help, get, locate her and get justice for her. She's, again, 11 years old, and she was really last seen on that school bus. And her mother, her biological mother, Diana, and her adoptive, her stepfather there, they just really, Christopher, they just don't seem to care what is going on with this child. And you can maybe kind of understand Christopher because this is not his biological kid, but what is wrong with the mother that she's just not talking? And I mean, there's a lot of suspicions around this whole thing that, they supposedly had an argument, and then Christopher on Thanksgiving decided to drive to Michigan to see family out of the blue and to retrieve items, which we still don't know what that means. I don't know if law enforcement has been able to find out what exactly that means. And she was saying that she had no idea where Madalina was. And the next day she went to look for her and she wasn't home. So she didn't decide to say anything. And when Christopher came home, they blamed each other for her. I don't know where she is. Do you? I don't know. I thought you had her. Oh, I thought you had her. And it's bizarre. It's not normal. And there was some sort of a couch being burned in the backyard. And like I said, there's just so much. It's not normal to have an 11-year-old just disappear. You don't report her missing. And the only reason she was reported missing was because her school continually was trying to contact Diana and Christopher saying, hey, Madalina is not in class. She's not here at school. What's going on with her? Finally, after multiple times visiting her home and everything, they told her she needs to come to the school, Diana Cojocari, she needs to come to the school with her daughter. So she came to the school, but she did not have Madalina with her. And that's the point where she said to them, I have no idea where my daughter is. 22 days later. So something suspicious happened. Something happened to this little girl, whether it was both of them doing something to her and covering it up, or one or the others, is being secretive for the other. At this point, I don't care which one of them has the answers. They need to stop and they need to talk, because there's a child's life on the line. So I again, my props to the station for fighting for this. And it's really sad that we're not getting it yet. I mean, this is Saturday evening that I'm recording this, and we still don't have the docs. And he's saying we're hopefully going to have the documents on Monday. So hopefully Monday, we'll have something. And if they do get released, I'll definitely be doing a video with that information, because we need to see what's going on in the case and get some answers. Because if we thought they did 3 search warrants, they've done 6. So what else have they found out? Something else happened, and in that 22-day period, just too many secrets. Too many secrets. It's got to stop. These guys just got to stop.
New information in the search for 11-year-old Madalina Cojocari. The Cornelius Police Department releasing this flyer today saying her mother, Diana Cojocari, was in the Madison County, North Carolina area sometime during those 3 weeks Madalina was not being reported missing.
Madison County is 150 miles from Cornelius. Investigators are hoping to gather tips as they work to fill in the timeline of Madalina's disappearance. WCNC Charlotte's Chloe Leshner is live at the Cornelius Police Department. Chloe, what do we know about this new lead in the investigation?
Hey, Fred and Vanessa, Madison County is about a 3-hour drive from here in Cornelius, but police say that Diana Cojocari was there, and they are asking anyone who may have seen her or her Prius to call them. Investigators are hoping new pictures of Diana Cojocari and a Prius will bring in tips that help lead to her missing 11-year-old daughter, Madalina. They're asking anyone who was in the Madison County area from November 22nd to December 15th to come forward if they think they saw anything.
Every bit of evidence is helpful, even if it leads nowhere. You never know. So if there is a thought by somebody in the public that there's information that could be helpful, I would call that tip in immediately, because a young girl's life might be in the balance.
Former FBI agent M. Quentin Williams says at this point in the investigation, working to fill in that 3-week lapse in time where Madalina's mother says she last saw her and reported her missing. Investigators have search warrants for Diana Cojocari and her husband, Christopher Palmer's, call detail records. Eyewitness accounts can help solidify their movements.
There are so many cameras that are in society now, not just government cameras, but private cameras. Those ring cameras and doorbell cameras, they capture a lot of this kind of movement.
Search warrants in this case were sealed by a judge just before the new year. Friday morning, that same judge said she would partially unseal some of those search warrants and make the motion to seal them a public record. So we still have not gotten those documents at this point, but we know when we do, anything that is not already in the public domain will be redacted. So that means that we will not see that inventory list of what police took from the Cojocari house here in Cornelius. Live in Cornelius, Chloe Leshner, WCNC Charlotte.
So that's basically what we know right now. Again, they're stating that Diana, her mother, was seen in that area during that 3-week period, and with her Prius, and they need information. And hopefully on Monday, we'll get the unsealed documents. Sally, they'll be pretty redacted, I'm sure. They're going to be redacted, but I'm sure they're going to be extensively redacted, considering they didn't want to release them at all. So, again, I really hope this little girl is okay. It's every time, I hear of a little boy going missing, it breaks your heart, and this one just seems real suspicious to me. Again, I'm not gonna blame outright her mom or her stepfather, but you know they got something, they know something. And specifically Diana, that's her child. She gave birth to this child. She's 11 years old. This child is hers. And I don't know what attachment Christopher has to her, but someone has to care for this kid, and we would hope it was the mother. But so hopefully we'll have some more answers on Monday regarding what exactly was put out in some of these search warrants, and see what else we can learn. But if you have any information, let me pull up that poster again. There is the poster from Cornelius PD asking for any information if you saw Diana or Madalina or her Prius during that time period. They're looking for those witnesses. It's very, very important. And hopefully, they'll get some more answers soon, because this little girl, it just continues to seem to tick away, and it seems like, no one seems to care for her but police and the public. So, all right, guys, just want to get you an update on little Madalina, and I'll get you guys the update again once we get some of those records unsealed on Monday or, Tuesday, however that happens with the courthouse. And with that said and done, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and most of all, stay safe.